Hi, my name's Tisdell and I'm here to share a few resume writing tips with you. The process that I find the easiest to write is using a competency interview framework. The best framework I find is CAR. So what's the context you worked in? What are the actions that you've taken? And what's the result? Context, action, result. It's the best way of answering questions in interview. And when we start writing our resume, we start with a context. And that's fine when you're just brain dumping your ideas onto the page. But look very critically at how many times you've mentioned that context. And if that context, that situation that you were working in, think very carefully, is that what you want to do? So an example is, I met somebody yesterday and he was in financial services and he hates financial services, has been in it for like 20 years, desperate to get out. What does his resume have all through it? Financial services. If you don't want it, don't talk about it. Remove the context or at least shift it, like just dilute it and shift it to a different part of your resume. You really want to be starting strong, and you want to be starting strong with the actions. What are the actions you've done? What's the difference that you've delivered? So looking at your job adverts, you're looking at what are the actions that the keyword that your adverts are looking for. Are they looking for somebody who's engaged stakeholders or investigated anomalies in information or implemented matrix? So implemented, investigated, these are great action words, and that's what you want to start with. You don't want to start with, in a financial services company or working with various teams. You really want to start each sentence very strong. So think about the action, dilute the context, or even consider removing it. And then end each bullet point with a result. So your result is what used to be an achievement section. I say used to be because if you've got a separate achievement section, unless you're a CEO, or you're a salesperson, you're asking the recruiter to make a jigsaw of putting all of your experience together. They've got to look here and here and here and here and kind of match it all together. So if you've got one bullet point that starts with your action, talks a little bit about the context in relevant, relatable terms, and then it finishes on the result in percentages, dollars, time, something that's different. You've got a nice little story right there in that bullet point. I hope that was helpful to you today. Thanks for listening.